Hello and welcome to my channel. This time, let me take you on a quick garden tour to see what new things are growing in there.
Last 2 weeks we had, maybe 3 weeks, we had a lot of rain. As much rain, as a matter of fact, that I was not able to get out in the garden because it was all mud, or it was just raining, like non-stop rain. So today finally we have a good day without the rain. So it is time to tackle the garden drama. I will show you how everything turns out, how everything grows. It grows decently, even though could be better, since it was a bit cold, and after all it is already December, so it is getting a bit colder during the nights. Still not cold enough to stop the growth completely, but as a matter of fact, it's so much grass that grew that I don't know where to start and what to do first. Let me show you the everything is a disaster. I guess we will start with the radishes and the cabbages and try to get rid of some of the grass that we have, and then we will see how it goes. So it starts looking a bit better now without all the grass, right? So here we have the radishes, the long radishes, I believe. So they look like carrots, but they are actually a variety of radish, maybe some cross breeding. Anyway, so here we have some cabbages. So they are the ones I put in the latest. So they are still the smallest, but they already started forming little heads inside. So this one is gonna be the cabbage that is pointy. It's not round, it's gonna have a pointy end. So let me show you. What we have over here is the little cabbage forming already. The cat figured out where I am, and now I will not be able to do any gardening in peace because the cat needs attention. Okay, so now that the lettuce and the radishes look more or less acceptable, what we have left in this part of the garden is my attempted spinach. Not very impressive, okay? Not very impressive. I do have some trouble with growing spinach, the same last year, and I suspect it's just the soil that is not good for this kind of crop. So let's do spinach, and then what we have is the Asian radish, Asian Japanese, the daikon radish. So over here you can see the said spinach. I don't know what it has. Doesn't it have enough nitrogen and the leaves are not green enough? Is it something else? I have no idea. Here is the spinach and a few more sad bunches over there. So let's clean it up a bit anyway, and we will see what comes out of it. daikon radish, and it is growing like crazy. It's absolutely thriving. So I assume this is the right type of soil it likes. It grows in clay soil. It is completely unbothered by the slugs. It is completely unbothered by anything. It obviously loves the little bit colder weather, and it's growing so big that it's actually shading out the weeds. So there is not much to do other than clean up the ugly dead leaves from the bottom. And actually, I guess we could harvest one or two. So let's clean it up, and we will see what to do next. Okay, so I finished. I cleaned a bit around the radishes. It's time for a coffee break. It does not look very beautiful, okay? There is still a lot of grass growing around. My main goal, at least for today, is to clean around the plants themselves and leave whatever is more around for another day. The garden is not very big, but it's not very small either, so it would be unrealistic to assume that I can clean all of the things at once. Yeah, it's, better to divide the work into smaller tasks, and you feel more accomplished that way, right? Divide it into small things, and then one by one you feel that you are getting somewhere. So yeah, let me show you how it looks now. As you can see, you can actually see the plants now. So what I did was cleaning up a bit of grass around. A bit, not too much. Let's not get to be perfectionists. Let me show you the second one that is super beautiful. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It's so pretty. So as I mentioned, I left the middle parts and between the rows a little bit more grassy, and just concentrated on cleaning around the plants a bit so that they have more space, and also cleaned up the ugly leaves. So we are in the patch of cabbages and the plant that grows to be a big purple ball, like a turnip, I guess. It's called huli in Greek. So yeah, we have those plants, then we have the patch of cabbages. As you can see, it's very green, and well, it is what it is. So let's start cleaning up around the plants and leave all the parts in between green. Yeah, I guess I should change the name of the channel to Low Effort Gardening, but yeah, small tasks, one thing at a time. Let's go. So that's about it. That's about it with the weeds for now, because I'm already tired. So what we have our Roma Lahano. Oh my god, the Italian cabbage. Yes, so we have the Italian cabbage over here. There is the second row. It is growing decently, given that I've planted it in the end of October. It looks really decent, and it's middle of December now. Here we have our classic cabbages. As you can see, they have a lot of holes in the leaves, and this is because, as previous year, I'm struggling with a plague of snails and slugs that are feasting on the cabbages. But even though we do have a lot of slugs and snails, and they will eat on the outer leaves, the cabbage grows from like inside, right? I will show you an example. So the cabbages grow from inside, and the new leaves are forming inside. So even though the outer ones are eaten by the slugs, the inner ones are still going to be perfectly edible and will not have any problem. So you can see I removed the grass from in between the plants, so they will not have to compete so much for the nutrients from the soil. Okay, this one is a bit green, but it will do. Here we have my outstandingly beautiful daikon radishes, which I was not expecting. Okay, next we have the poor attempted spinach, radishes, lettuce, more radishes, the triangular cabbage, and over there I'm actually growing what I'm growing there. I think it's parsley or celery. They are very similar to each other when they are small, but I believe that those ones are parsley and celery is over there. More radishes. It was something at some point. And over here we had some carrots, so I will have to clean this part as well. You can see that carrots grow in this part, and over here they got overpowered by the grass. And the next thing we got is the beetroots. They are not growing as beautiful as they were last year. However, we can see that the first ones are slowly getting ready, like this one over there. Beautiful thing. So I will harvest them later today probably. Next thing is my pumpkin experiment, which is... That's not an experiment. That's not an experiment. So yeah, the pumpkin experiment, well, it grows. The strong rains we had kind of messed up this part, but I'm not too worried. You know, I am growing this as an experiment after all, and not as the, you know, having in mind any crops. The sweet potatoes though, they are not doing their best. Maybe it's too cold for them, or maybe I'm not efficient enough with weeding. So you can see they did grow a bit, but they are far from healthy. Partially, I believe it's because of the slugs. Once again, they have the holes in the leaves. So I will try some other method next time. What we have here is just attempted onions. The onions will not grow very well in the winter, but you can always grow them for the green part. Right, so you have something to put in the salads. From the garden tour, we have the garden guardian. Very serious about her job of catching bugs. The oranges are looking like they are slowly getting ready to harvest. The color is changing into a deep orange. Very nice. This variety is a smaller one. Those ones are most likely for juice. Over there though, on the big tree, we do have variety that is growing bigger, and it is used for eating. Biscuit is in jail. Biscuit, are you in the cat jail? Is she gonna escape the jail? Meow. So the plan for now is to get this creature brushed. Let's go. Alright, so we're kinda done with cleaning the garden, you know, kinda there. So let's harvest some stuff, let's see what we can scavenge in the garden. I found a box. It's the same box that last time. And I noticed something. Some creature was really interested in it, you know. There's some tiny tootsies here and there. I have my suspicions, you know. Let's go. So, let me tell you about the infinite food glitch, which is this. What is this? Leeks. So the infinite food glitch is that you only need to get it once, and as you cut it, it will regrow. It will regrow, and you have indefinite amount of food. So this one looks okay. Let's cut this one. And that's it. It will regrow. I will show you how it regrows after a few weeks. So let's put this one into the carton box. Nice. So how it looks after literally a few weeks is this. I've cut this about 2 weeks ago. Over here you can see the cut, and it keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps making new leaves. So this is basically an infinite food glitch. Okay, so what is next? We are gonna get some of the beetroots. In Greek they are called pazaria. So yeah, let's go with this one now. So when I harvest beetroots, you can see that they are also not in the best condition, not the most beautiful. So beetroots like to have a lot of space between each other, right? Because they have big leaves, and when they are too tight and too close to each other, they might get some disease on the leaves. So also it is important to, you know, snap the ugly leaves, and like this one. So yeah, snap the ugly. Oh. Anyway, we will cut that part. So snap the ugly leaves and try to pick up the ones that are growing too densely together. So over here we have one here, and one there. That's completely fine. But in the second row, they are too close to one another. So I'm gonna get one of them out. Okay. It is fairly small, but they are delicious in the soups. So the very young ones, like this one, we will use for the soup, along with the stems of the leaves. The leaves are quite ugly, so I'm not gonna be using them. So I'm just gonna snap them, and here we are. Very good beetroot for the soup. So into the box it goes. It is still a bit too dense over here, so I'm gonna pick up more of them that are in the way of the biggest that we have. So those ones are super tiny. This is the ugly leaf. The leaves are generally ugly, so yeah, you can still use those for the soup, so just the stems. So I'm gonna just clean the ugly leaves out. I don't want ugly leaves. The leaves are good for the soup as well, as long as they are pretty. We don't want the ugly ones in our food. Okay, yeah, so the young ones, especially the young ones, are gonna be very good for cooking. The older the leaf gets, the more hard it is. So what we want in our soup is the young, bright colored leaves in the box. It is still too dense over here. Let me actually take you closer. So it is still too dense in this part. So you can see that there are 3 of them growing next to each other, which is too much. So what we will do, we will only leave the biggest one over here and get those guys out. Come on. Oh. Okay, so they are not very big. They will get bigger if they have more space. So let's get this one out as well. Okay, very nice stems. So those things will go in the soup. You can also clean them, cut them, and freeze them for later. So you can always have the beetroot soup in the middle of summer, if you so please. Okay, this one is too small to even bother. So let's clean up the stuff around so they have more space. And yeah, the beetroots don't want to have too much stuff growing around them because they need the airflow in between the plants to prevent the fungus and fungal diseases, like this fungus that is going here. Hello, little fungus. Hello. So let's clean up those. There's some ugly stuff. Okay. So even though this guy is not straight, it doesn't matter much, it's still gonna grow. Alright, so let's go next. We have some beetroots, we have some Swiss chard, the baby Swiss chards. So similar to beetroots, you basically sow those guys all together, right, from the seed in the ground, directly in the ground. You don't need to bother with like little cups and stuff. So you sow it in the ground and then you have too many of them piled up together. So what we will do is take some of them out and, you know, let space for the biggest ones to keep growing, and then from the biggest ones we can just take some leaf now and then, which, you know, is more sustainable than just having to seed and sow and, you know, wait all the time for the new ones, right? So what we have now, I will get some lettuce, I think, and I will get one of the daikon radishes. They do have a little bit of spiky leaves, so, you know, gloves. And let's see if I'm able to pull it out. I hope so. Oh, okay, that was not so hard. So, look at that. Nice. Let's clean it up a bit. So, I've seen that you can eat the leaves too. Like, I've seen in some videos from Asia that the leaves can be cut, dried, and then pickled. But I'm not sure if that's my thing. So, let's just cut the leaves and put them in the compost pile.